Bailouts are still on the table right here. We saw trillions of dollars being funneled into the banking system to prop up this market, and they are doing a poor job of that right now. Today I'm going to talk to you about the bailouts that you may not have heard about. So we heard about all the major US banks being bailed out, but what about that secret bailout that occurred that Canadian banks received billions of dollars from the US Federal Reserve? What is the Federal Reserve doing giving money to Canadian banks? It doesn't make any sense when Canadian banks can get their money from the Bank of Canada, the central bank. That's when you know there's a big scam going on, that not only printing money from the central bank is enough, you have to get it from the Federal Reserve, the head of the snake. Let's go into this right here. And before I do, I just want to mention that Stephen Harper, the Prime Minister, said there were no bailouts of Canadian banks. Take a look at this right here. This is what Bloomberg put together. You can see the listing of all the different banks that got bailed out, and I just want to confirm a few that are in here, one of them being Royal Bank of Canada and Toronto Dominion Bank, TD Bank. Those two right there, I'll leave it at that, just showing you visually they did get bailed out. Every time I mention this, I keep getting demonized. Why? Because Stephen Harper said there was no bailout. But if you look at it right here, those numbers are official. Let's go on quickly. This is actually the chart showing you the total support to Canadian banks, and it wasn't just the U.S. Federal Reserve, of course, it was the Bank of Canada as well, CMHC, they're going through this thing here, so I just wanted to show you again, they were getting bailouts, and then you could see how it tapers off as the years go on. Let me go on quickly. Canadian bank bailout. Yes, there was one, and here's why it's important to remember that. So I'll go into the article very quickly. Just wanted to note that there were $114 billion in emergency lending. What in the world is the Federal Reserve doing bailing out the Canadian banks, funneling the money in through there? There's some sort of scam going on. We don't know what it is, of course, because Stephen Harper said it doesn't exist. And when the media keeps pushing that message, everyone who says anything against it will be demonized, I assure you. But what does this really come down to? That our insurance, what they claim, that our money is safe in this banking system. They claim every single day not to worry, and you have to keep continuously funneling your money in there. What do we have? You can see right here, FDIC Deposit Insurance Fund hits $33 billion after 2009 deficit. Now we go into the very bottom here. I think a lot of people don't realize this, especially when I'm talking to them in their consultations, when they're worried about taking their money out of the bank and putting it into a real asset. Look at what the FDIC, and I'm only showing this as an example, this goes for every country around the world. Their required reserve ratio is just over 1%. And they're not even at that goal right now. They have to get there by 2018. So they're saying right here the reserve ratio was basically 0.5%. That is nothing. They could not even bail out a small bank. That's how poor the insurance is. That goes for every country around the world. They're not able to bail anybody out. So you put your money in there, even if it is under 100,000 or whatever your bank sets to that amount, they can't bail it out. They would have to rely on the central bank to come in and print that money, and that money printing will undoubtedly cause a hyperinflation if this happens. So when you put your money in the bank, you better be warned in advance that this is a big risk. They make it seem safe. That's not the case. They lied to us about the banking system and how it didn't receive a bailout in Canada. They lied to Americans saying that the bailouts were only $1 trillion or so. And take a look at what they did, a $16 trillion bailout, giving money all over the world, including the Canadian banks. I'm here to tell you the truth. I hope you'll enjoy this, and more truth is at the Money GPS Insiders, and that is at the Money cgps.com at the bottom. You fill in your email address, and then you'll get occasional emails from me with the inside scoop, the intel that you're looking for.